Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you the speed through version of the February 14th, 2019 live stream show on Art Joy of Sharing livestream channel. Today, Peg and I were gel printing, and then next week we will be using these prints to make some sort of art. Not sure what yet. Probably won't know until an hour before I actually make it. But I started out with making a printing plate. I like to do this on styrofoam using ball stylus tools to draw into the styrofoam and then use it as a mark making tool on the plate. And since today is Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, everyone who's watching this today and not some other time. I did hearts. I did some heart stuff today when I was doing the printing, and these are just little heart designs pressed into the styrofoam. And then I'm using a credit card to scrape some acrylic paint over it, and then I just press it down on the plate. You can press it more than once because the acrylic paint goes down into the grooves and it makes a interesting way of mark making. And I tried to put it on my 6x6 too. I have my 12x12 on my 6x6 plates out, as well as 3 little tiny ones that you'll see me using later. It didn't come out very well on the small plate, so I just went ahead and made a layer, and then I put a stencil over that. This is a stencil made by my friend Bea Grobe. She made it, I believe, on her Silhouette or Scan and Cut or one of those cutting tools. So I used some light blue paint to pick it up, and then I used some light pink paint to pick up the other print, and there they are, some heart prints for today. So then I got out this Art Foamies stamp. This brand makes foam stamps. A lot of fun. They have a lot of designs. I would like to buy lots of them, but this one I actually got for free from CHA. And I was just using it to press into the plate, and then I picked up the prints with some various colors of paint over the top. The one was so light that I thought it needed some darker onto it, so I used some eggplant over the top. I made a tag with excess paint. You know, this is how it goes. That one I picked up with red, and that kind of gives you an idea of what art foamies look like used in gel printing. So then I was talking about how I like to build up layers on my plate as opposed to making a print and then printing something over the top and printing something over the top. I prefer to build up layers on the plate first and then pick it all up with a light coat of paint. So I was talking about that in this section, and I was using this scribbly stamp to do that. I had eggplant colored paint on the 6x6. I had that little stencil that I put over the top, and I picked up the excess. And then when I picked up the stencil, I had paint on it, so I put it on my other plate. This is the reason that I like to work in tandem with a couple different plates at once. And then I picked up that one with some light blue and yellow, and that's a really, really cool print. That's probably my favorite of the day. Really cool, with a little bit of crusty stuff off the plate. I love that one. So then people in the audience were asking me about this because they didn't quite understand what I was saying. So I did it again. Here in Arizona, my paint dries a lot faster than it would in some of the places that have a lot more humidity. So this type of work is easy for me to do because the plate dries pretty quickly. The paint on the plate dries pretty quickly. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but dry-ish. And then I let it dry on the plate, and then I put a very, very thin coat over the top and pick it all up. So I can make multiple designs, like in the case of this large one. Now I have some eggplant from the stencil. I've got some blue from the stencil. I've got a couple blue spots where I used the small gel plate. I have just, you know, some excess paint getting on there, just building and building and building onto the plate. And then when all that's dry, I can pick it up as one large print. So here I was showing just the simplest version of what I was talking about. Similar to what I did on the other side, different colors, and the paint wasn't as dry when I did it because that paint was really gloppy and it didn't dry very quickly. So now I'm still building on to this print that I'm going to make on my larger plate, and I've switched to a grid type stencil, and you can see when I pick up this print over here on the 6x6 that it's just basically a purple grid at that point. But I'm also using the yellow paint to pick up all the stuff that is on the bigger plate. So there's the, that's basically like the reverse of the stencil. Looks pretty cool. Almost looks like it's glowing because of the color contrast. And then this one has all that different stuff. It's got stuff from different stencils and stuff from me using the small gel plate to touch it and just all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a really cool print. I'm wiggling it too much, but you'll see the still print here in a section. And I'll just be using that for collage, using sections of it. You don't have to use the whole piece. You can tear it up, you can cut it up. So see how there's so much interest in there? It almost starts to be a piece of art by itself. And then when you put some more stuff over the top, you can really get a great abstract piece using something like that. So I decided to switch to some brighter colors. This is a, I think it's cat orange light, maybe. I don't know. I'll put all the links to the stencils and acrylic paint colors that I used in this video in the description box below the video so that you can find them. I was doing the same type of thing where I put a color down, put a stencil on top, then put color over it. And sometimes I like to use white paint. I pull the colored paint underneath, and then I use white paint, pull that, and it gives an interesting halo effect. And you will see that on the one on the right side when I pull the complete print. So then I went over the top and I put some colors in, multiple different colors. And then now I'm picking it up with some titanium paint. That's like an off-white. It would be buff titanium or titanium buff. And on this side, I used a piece of craft deli paper. That's a thin paper in a craft color, and it looks very different than the other one that I picked up with the white paper. Paper I used today was white deli paper, craft deli paper, and regular printer paper. So that one has a lot of different tones in it. It even picked up some of the blue, but it was a very interesting print. And then this one looks very different, even though they were similar colors. This one really has the halo around it from the second coat of white. So pretty cool. Then I switched to some phthalo green and some metallic gold and different colors like that with this one. These stencils actually are made by the same person. They coordinate the 6x6 and the 9x12. Same. Actually, I think they're probably from Stencil Club, from a really old Stencil Club maybe. So then I put some green and some orange over it and then picked it up with, I ended up picking it up with metallic gold. I thought I was going to do white, but then I ended up with gold, and it turned out really interesting. And then there was still some left on the plate, and so I picked it up with something else. Oh, that's where I just picked up the, oh, this is a different print. That was using two different stencils, one on top of another. You know, Peg is also printing at the same time, and so it gets a little bit confusing sometimes when I'm editing. I don't get the whole process because it was on her camera at the point when I was doing it. So then this was where there was some excess left on the plate, and I thought I would pick it up as kind of a lift ghost, and it turned out really cool. I used brown to pick up that phthalo green and gold and different colors that were on there. Pretty pretty. Now this time I've got phthalo green underneath, a stencil over the top, and then I'm using my small triangular and square mini plates to do some kissing over the top of it, where I'm kissing one plate against the other, and also a 6x6 stencil to make pattern on there. So it will end up filling up all the spaces in the stencil with all these different colors and patterns, yellow and green and light blue and dark blue. And then I take the stencil off and then pick up the entire thing with a coat of titanium white. And it's a pretty interesting, busy print. I used all analogous or coordinating colors on this one, no contrast. The other ones I was doing a little bit of contrast work. So I'm sorry I bumped my camera there. So that turned out really interesting, I thought. It has a lot of pattern in it. And then it has the shapes from the stencil that was underneath. And there was still lots of good stuff on there, so I decided to pick it up with a coat of light rose, almost white, but light pink paint. And I think this is near the last one, maybe. Maybe. I think so. Then I have a flip through, I think, of all the different things I did in this hour and a half of printing on the live show. If you want to watch the real-time version, the link will be at the end screen and in the description box below the video. So you can go over there to Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel and watch the extended recorded version. And then also, if you like this, remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this if you'd like to. Pin it on Pinterest in your gel printing files if you want to. That would all be great. And that is it for me for today. So thanks. Bye-bye.